Ladies and gentlemen, in every journey, whether personal or professional, there will inevitably come moments when the situation seems overwhelmingly messy, complicated, or outright ugly. How we choose to approach these moments defines not only the outcomes but also our growth and character. Let's dive into how we can transform such situations into opportunities for clarity and innovation. Facing a challenging or ugly situation head-on is a principle that applies universally, whether in personal life, business, or any complex project. The natural instinct when confronted with something unpleasant is often to avoid it. We rationalize delays by telling ourselves we need more time, more information, or a better moment to act. However, the truth is that avoidance doesn't make problems disappear. It often allows them to grow unchecked, compounding their complexity and making eventual resolution even harder. The first and most critical step in navigating an ugly situation is developing the mindset to confront it directly and without hesitation. The first hurdle is overcoming fear. Ugly situations often bring with them a sense of discomfort, fear of failure, or even fear of judgment. These emotions can paralyze decision-making and cloud rational thought. It's vital to acknowledge these feelings as natural, but not let them dictate your actions. Remember, fear is often rooted in uncertainty. By confronting the situation, you begin to chip away at that uncertainty, replacing it with clarity. Think of it as turning on a light in a dark room. What seemed ominous in the shadows often looks more manageable under direct scrutiny. When you decide to face the problem head-on, it signals to yourself and others that you are taking ownership. Ownership is a powerful thing. It shifts the narrative from one of helplessness to one of agency. It's easy to fall into the trap of blaming external factors or waiting for someone else to step in. But true leadership, whether of a team, a project, or your own life, comes from the willingness to say, "This is my responsibility to address." Taking ownership not only empowers you, but also sets a tone of accountability that can inspire those around you. Another key reason for immediate action is that problems left unaddressed often grow exponentially. Consider a small crack in a dam. If ignored, the pressure behind it will increase, leading to more damage and possibly catastrophic failure. Similarly, an unresolved conflict, a financial issue, or a technical glitch can snowball into something much larger if left unattended. Addressing the issue early on, even if the solution isn't immediately apparent, prevents it from escalating beyond your control. Facing problems head-on doesn't mean diving in recklessly. It involves gathering the courage to engage with the situation and the wisdom to approach it thoughtfully. Start by assessing the scope of the issue. Ask yourself, what is the root cause? What are the immediate consequences? What resources or support might be required to address this? By gaining a clear understanding of the situation, you can focus your energy effectively instead of reacting blindly. This initial analysis also helps in reducing the overwhelm that often accompanies messy situations. Once you've chosen to engage with the problem, timing is critical. Acting decisively doesn't mean acting impulsively. It's about striking a balance between swift action and informed decision-making. For instance, if your business is experiencing a downturn, waiting indefinitely for better market conditions might not be the best strategy. Instead, identifying actionable steps such as cost-cutting measures, customer outreach, or strategic pivots can help stabilize the situation. The goal is to create momentum even if the initial steps are small. Another advantage of addressing ugly situations directly is that it fosters trust and transparency. In group settings, whether in a workplace, a family, or a community, people look to leaders for cues on how to respond to adversity. By confronting the issue openly and honestly, you set an example of resilience and integrity. This approach not only builds credibility, but also encourages collaboration. When others see you tackling a challenge head-on, they are more likely to rally you, offering their support and insights. Addressing the issue immediately gives you a sense of control. One of the most distressing aspects of ugly situations is the feeling of helplessness they can create. When you take action, even in small ways, you reclaim agency over the outcome. This psychological shift can be incredibly empowering, helping you stay focused and motivated even in the face of setbacks. Confronting an ugly situation isn't just about resolving the immediate problem, it's also about building long-term resilience. Each time you face a challenge directly, you develop skills and confidence that make you better equipped to handle future difficulties. This compounding effect is invaluable. It's not just about solving today's problem, it's about cultivating a mindset that sees challenges as opportunities to grow and adapt. Dealing with ugly situations starts with the decision to face them head-on. It's a choice to confront rather than avoid, to take ownership rather than pass responsibility, and to act with courage and clarity. While the process might not always be easy, it is undeniably the most effective way to transform problems into progress. By addressing challenges directly, you not only resolve them more efficiently, but also lay the groundwork for a stronger, more resilient approach to life's inevitable difficulties. When confronted with an ugly situation, one of the most effective strategies for dealing with it is to break down the complexity. Many challenges seem insurmountable because they appear as one giant, tangled mess. This complexity can be overwhelming, paralyzing decision-making, and making the path forward unclear. However, by dividing the situation into smaller, more manageable components, you can tackle each piece individually, which not only makes the process less daunting, but also allows for steady and measurable progress. Think of any complex issue as a system with interconnected parts. At first glance, it might seem like solving the entire system is an impossible task, but every system can be dissected into smaller components. Imagine trying to build or repair a machine. If you look at the whole machine as one unit, you might not know where to begin. But by breaking it into individual parts, you can focus on diagnosing and fixing one element at a time. The same principle applies to problems in life, work, or relationships. Simplifying complexity is the first step toward resolving it. Breaking down the problem begins with understanding its structure. This involves identifying the different elements that contribute to the overall challenge. Start by asking key questions. What are the specific factors involved? What is the root cause? What are the symptoms or consequences? This process of deconstruction helps you create a mental map of the situation, giving you clarity about its scope and the relationships between its components. Often, this step alone is enough to reduce the sense of overwhelm because it transforms an ambiguous challenge into something more concrete. Once you have identified the components of the problem, it becomes easier to prioritize your efforts. Not all aspects of a complex situation require immediate attention. Some parts may be critical and demand urgent action, while others can be addressed later. For example, imagine you are managing a project that is falling behind schedule. Breaking it down might reveal that the delay is due to several factors: unclear communication, resource shortages, and inefficient workflows. By isolating these components, you can decide which issue has the greatest impact and tackle it first. This prioritization ensures that your energy is focused where it will have the most significant effect. Another advantage of breaking down a complex problem is that it creates opportunities for incremental progress. Trying to solve everything at once can lead to frustration, especially if the results are not immediately visible. However, by working on smaller, defined tasks, you create a sense of achievement with each step forward. These small wins not only boost morale, but also build momentum, making it easier to stay motivated throughout the process. Progress breeds progress, and even small improvements can lead to significant results over time. Breaking complexity into parts also allows for targeted problem solving. Each component of a larger problem might require a different approach, tool, or resource. By isolating the issues, you can customize your strategies to address each one effectively. This is far more efficient than applying a one-size-fits-all solution to the entire situation. For instance, if a business is struggling financially, one component might involve reducing expenses, while another might involve increasing revenue streams. Each requires a distinct approach, and separating them enables you to address both without confusion. Collaboration is another area where this method shines. When you break a problem into smaller parts, it becomes easier to delegate specific tasks or seek help from others. Often, complex situations require expertise or input from multiple people. By clearly defining the components of the problem, you can involve the right individuals or teams, ensuring that each aspect is handled by those best equipped to deal with it. This not only distributes the workload, but also fosters collaboration, which can lead to innovative solutions that might not have been apparent otherwise. Breaking down complexity also minimizes the risk of inaction. When faced with a large, overwhelming challenge, it's common to feel stuck, unsure of where to begin. This paralysis can be costly as it delays action and allows the problem to grow. However, when you divide the situation into smaller parts, the path forward becomes clearer. Even if you don't know how to solve the entire problem yet, you can start by addressing one piece. Taking that first step, however small, creates momentum and sets you on the path toward resolution. This approach builds confidence and a sense of control. When problems seem too big to handle, it's easy to feel powerless. But as you tackle each individual piece, you start to see progress, which reinforces your belief in your ability to manage the situation. Over time, this confidence grows, equipping you to handle even more significant challenges in the future. Breaking complexity into parts is not just a tactic for solving immediate problems. It's a mindset that trains you to approach difficulties with a sense of curiosity and determination. Breaking down a complex problem is about transforming chaos into clarity. By dissecting the situation into smaller components, prioritizing efforts, and focusing on incremental progress, you create a roadmap to resolution. This method not only makes challenges more manageable, but also empowers you with the tools to approach future complexities with confidence and strategy. No matter how daunting the situation, every problem becomes solvable when you take it one step at a time. In challenging situations, one of the greatest obstacles is the interplay between emotion and logic. Ugly situations often evoke intense emotions, fear, anger, frustration, or even helplessness. While these feelings are natural and inevitable, allowing them to take control can lead to impulsive decisions or paralysis, neither of which helps resolve the issue. The ability to remain composed, separate emotions from logic, and approach the problem with a rational mindset is a critical skill that not only helps in solving the immediate issue, but also strengthens your overall decision-making capabilities. While powerful, are temporary and reactive. They are your brain's immediate response to stress or discomfort, designed to protect you from harm or alert you to danger. However, these emotional responses are not always aligned with the best course of action. For example, in a heated argument, anger might push you to say something you regret, escalating the conflict rather than resolving it. Similarly, fear can prevent you from taking necessary risks, leading to missed opportunities. Recognizing that emotions are fleeting and often exaggerated in moments of crisis is the first step toward managing them effectively. To approach an ugly situation logically, start by creating some emotional distance. This doesn't mean suppressing your feelings or ignoring them. It means acknowledging their presence but not letting them dictate your actions. A practical technique is to take a step back and ask yourself a series of reflective questions. What exactly am I feeling right now? Why am I feeling this way? Are my emotions rooted in the facts of the situation, or are they based on assumptions or worst-case scenarios? By engaging in this internal dialogue, you shift from being controlled by your emotions to understanding them, which is a critical step toward clarity. Once you've acknowledged your emotions, the next step is to reframe your perspective. In ugly situations, emotions often amplify the negative aspects of the problem, making it seem worse than it actually is. Reframing involves looking at the situation objectively and considering the broader context. Ask yourself, what are the tangible facts? What are the variables within my control? What are the possible outcomes and how likely are they? This rational approach helps you move from an emotionally charged state to one of constructive problem solving. It's also important to focus on what you can control. Emotions are often intensified by dwelling on aspects of a situation that are beyond your influence. For instance, in a business crisis, you may feel stressed about external factors like market conditions or customer behavior, which are largely outside your control. Instead, shift your attention to the variables you can influence, whether that's streamlining operations, improving communication, or finding creative ways to adapt. This not only reduces feelings of helplessness, but also channels your energy into productive action. Another key aspect of balancing emotion and logic is timing. In the heat of the moment, emotions are at their peak, making it harder to think clearly. If possible, give yourself a moment to pause before responding to a crisis. This pause doesn't need to be long. It can be as simple as taking a few deep breaths, stepping outside for fresh air, or even sleeping on the decision if time allows. These small actions create a buffer, allowing your emotional intensity to subside and your logical reasoning to take over. Cultivating a rational mindset also involves seeking out facts and data. In ugly situations, emotions can distort your perception of reality, leading you to overestimate risks or underestimate your own abilities. By grounding your decisions in objective information, you counteract this bias. For example, if you're dealing with a financial challenge, instead of panicking over perceived losses, take the time to analyze the actual numbers. What is your current cash flow? What are the critical expenses? What adjustments can be made? Data-driven decisions are inherently more reliable and less prone to the whims of emotion. It's also worth noting that managing your emotions and maintaining a logical approach doesn't mean ignoring the human element of the situation. Empathy and understanding can coexist with rational thinking. For example, in resolving a conflict, acknowledging the other person's emotions can help de-escalate the situation, even as you focus on finding a logical solution. The key is to let empathy guide your communication while still keeping your ultimate goal rooted in rational outcomes. Another practical tool is visualization. When emotions are running high, it can be helpful to visualize the best-case scenario and the steps required to get there. This shifts your focus from the chaos of the present moment to the possibilities of the future. It's a simple but powerful way to remind yourself that the current situation, no matter how difficult, is temporary and solvable with the right approach. It's important to remember that balancing emotion and logic is not about eliminating emotions entirely. Emotions can be a source of motivation, creativity, and connection. The goal is not to suppress them, but to manage them in a way that complements logical thinking. By channeling your emotions constructively, using fear as a motivator to prepare thoroughly, or anger as a drive to take action, you create a balance that allows you to respond to challenges with both humanity and effectiveness. Dealing with ugly situations requires an intentional balance between emotion and logic. While emotions provide important signals, they must be understood and managed to prevent them from derailing your decision-making process. By acknowledging your feelings, grounding your actions in rational thought, and focusing on what you can control, you transform the chaotic energy of the moment into clear and purposeful action. This balance not only resolves the immediate problem, but also equips you with the resilience and composure needed to face future challenges with confidence. Ugly situations often feel like setbacks, obstacles meant to derail us from our path. However, reframing these challenges as opportunities for growth and learning can fundamentally change how we approach them. This perspective shift transforms adversity from something to be feared or avoided into a catalyst for personal and professional development. Learning from ugly situations isn't just a coping mechanism, it's a powerful strategy that equips us to become stronger, wiser, and more adaptable in the face of future challenges. The first step in learning from adversity is to accept that challenges are an inevitable part of life. No matter how well we plan or how careful we are, unforeseen difficulties will arise. These moments are not a reflection of failure, but a natural part of any journey. They are the friction points where growth occurs. Without these moments, we remain static, unable to develop new skills, gain deeper insights, or achieve greater resilience. By acknowledging that difficulties are unavoidable, we open ourselves to the idea that they are also valuable. When faced with an ugly situation, the immediate instinct is often to focus on the negative, the pain, frustration, or inconvenience it causes, but within every challenge lies an opportunity to learn. The key is to shift your mindset from why is this happening to me to what is this trying to teach me. This shift isn't always easy, especially in the heat of the moment, but it is essential. By looking for lessons instead of dwelling on the discomfort, you turn adversity into a teacher rather than an adversary. To learn from a challenging situation, it's important to analyze it objectively. This involves stepping back and examining the situation without letting emotions cloud your judgment. Ask yourself what went wrong. Was there a specific decision, action, or factor that contributed to the problem? What warning signs did I miss? These questions allow you to dissect the situation and identify the root causes rather than just addressing the symptoms. This analytical approach not only helps you understand what happened, but also equips you to prevent similar issues in the future. One of the most valuable aspects of ugly situations is that they often reveal weaknesses or blind spots both in ourselves and in the systems we rely on. For instance, a failure in a project might highlight gaps in communication, lack of preparation, or insufficient resources. While these revelations can be uncomfortable, they are incredibly useful. Identifying and addressing these weaknesses makes us stronger and more resilient over time. Rather than viewing these vulnerabilities as flaws, we can see them as opportunities for improvement. Learning from adversity also involves embracing the concept of iteration. Rarely does anyone get everything right the first time, especially when dealing with complex or high-stakes challenges. Mistakes and failures are an inevitable part of the process, but they are not the end of the story. Each misstep provides valuable feedback that informs your next steps. This iterative process, trying, failing, learning, and trying again, is how growth happens. It's not about avoiding failure altogether, but about using failure as a stepping stone to success. Another powerful aspect of learning from ugly situations is the perspective it provides. Adversity has a way of clarifying what truly matters. In the midst of a crisis, you may realize that certain things you once prioritized are less important than you thought, while other aspects like relationships, values, or long-term goals come into sharper focus. This clarity can be a gift, helping you realign your efforts and energy with what is truly meaningful. Ugly situations also build resilience, which is one of the most valuable traits a person can develop. Resilience is not about avoiding challenges, but about facing them, learning from them, and emerging stronger. Each time you navigate a difficult situation, you expand your capacity to handle future challenges. This cumulative effect is what allows individuals, teams, and organizations to thrive in uncertain or volatile environments. Resilience is not a trait you're born with, it's something you build, one challenge at a time. Another important aspect of learning from adversity is the humility it fosters. Ugly situations remind us that we don't have all the answers and that perfection is an illusion. This realization can make us more open to seeking help, listening to others, and embracing new perspectives. Humility is a strength, not a weakness. It creates space for collaboration and innovation, which are often essential for overcoming challenges. To truly learn from an ugly situation, reflection is key. Once the immediate crisis has passed, take the time to look back and assess what you've gained from the experience. What did you learn about yourself, your capabilities, or your limits? How did the situation change your perspective or priorities? What skills or insights did you acquire that you didn't have before? Writing these reflections down can be especially powerful as it helps solidify the lessons and makes them easier to apply in the future. Ugly situations are not just obstacles, they are opportunities in disguise. They push us out of our comfort zones, force us to think creatively, and compel us to grow in ways we might not have otherwise. By choosing to view challenges as lessons rather than setbacks, we empower ourselves to turn adversity into a source of strength and wisdom. The more we embrace this mindset, the better equipped we become to face life's inevitable difficulties with courage and grace. Instead of fearing ugly situations, we can begin to see them for what they truly are, stepping stones to a stronger, more capable version of ourselves. In ugly situations, adaptability is often the deciding factor between stagnation and progress. These moments test your ability to adjust your approach, mindset, and strategies when things don't go as planned. Rigidity in thinking or sticking to predetermined methods often fails to address the dynamic nature of real-world challenges. By embracing flexibility and innovation, you give yourself the freedom to explore new paths, experiment with alternative solutions, and turn setbacks into stepping stones for growth and success. Adaptability begins with the recognition that change is inevitable, especially in challenging circumstances. Ugly situations rarely unfold according to expectations, and they often introduce unforeseen variables that disrupt your plans. While this unpredictability can be frustrating, it is also an opportunity to recalibrate. Accepting the reality of change is the first step toward becoming adaptable. Instead of resisting it, ask yourself, how can I work with these new conditions? What opportunities might this change present? Being adaptable doesn't mean abandoning your goals, rather it's about finding new ways to achieve them. Imagine you're navigating a road and you encounter a major detour. The destination remains the same, but the route changes. Adaptability is the willingness to explore these alternative routes, even if they're unfamiliar or require a different set of skills. It's about staying focused on the outcome while being flexible about the process. This mindset allows you to remain proactive and solutions-oriented, even when the path ahead is unclear. A critical element of adaptability is openness to experimentation. In ugly situations, traditional methods or familiar strategies may not work. This is where creativity and innovation come into play. Instead of sticking to what you know, consider trying something new. This could mean exploring unconventional ideas, testing different approaches, or seeking input from diverse perspectives. Experimentation carries the risk of failure, but it also opens the door to breakthroughs that might not have been possible otherwise. The willingness to try, fail, and learn is a hallmark of adaptable individuals and organizations. Adaptability also requires a degree of humility. Ugly situations often force you to confront the limitations of your knowledge, skills, or assumptions. This can be uncomfortable, but it's also an opportunity to grow. Admitting that you don't have all the answers and being open to learning from others is a key part of staying flexible. Whether it's seeking advice from a mentor, collaborating with a team, or studying how others have tackled similar challenges, the ability to incorporate new insights into your approach is invaluable. Another important aspect of adaptability is managing your mindset. It's easy to become fixated on how things should be or to dwell on what's been lost in a challenging situation. However, adaptability requires a shift in perspective. Instead of focusing on the gap between expectation and reality, focus on what you can do within the current circumstances. This mental flexibility allows you to see possibilities where others might see dead ends. It's about asking, given what's happening now, how can I make the best of this? One of the most powerful tools for fostering adaptability is resilience. Resilience doesn't mean being unaffected by adversity. It means bouncing back and adjusting after setbacks. Ugly situations often demand rapid adjustments, and resilience gives you the emotional and mental capacity to keep moving forward despite difficulties. Resilience and adaptability go hand in hand. Resilience provides the strength to persevere, while adaptability provides the creativity and flexibility to change course as needed. It's also important to note that adaptability is not a solo endeavor. Collaboration often plays a significant role in navigating ugly situations. Different people bring different perspectives, experiences, and skills to the table, which can lead to innovative solutions. By staying open to input and feedback, you expand your range of options and increase the likelihood of finding a path forward. Collaborative adaptability fosters a sense of shared ownership over the problem and its solution, making it easier to move collectively toward progress. Adaptability also involves a willingness to let go of what no longer works. This could mean abandoning a strategy, changing a habit, or even redefining a goal. While letting go can feel like a loss, it's often necessary to create space for new opportunities. Ugly situations can be moments of reinvention, where you discover better ways of doing things or uncover strengths you didn't know you had. The ability to pivot rather than clinging to outdated methods or ideas is a hallmark of adaptability. Adaptability is not just about responding to change, it's about anticipating it. In ugly situations, being proactive can make all the difference. This involves staying curious, observing trends, and thinking several steps ahead. By preparing for possible scenarios, you reduce the element of surprise and position yourself to act quickly when circumstances shift. While you can't predict everything, a forward-thinking approach allows you to adapt with greater confidence and efficiency. Adaptability is about embracing change, staying open to new possibilities, and maintaining a flexible mindset in the face of adversity. Ugly situations may disrupt your plans, but they also present opportunities to innovate, learn, and grow. By focusing on what you can control, experimenting with new approaches, and remaining resilient, you transform challenges into opportunities for reinvention. Adaptability is not just a skill, it's a mindset that empowers you to thrive in an ever-changing world. The more flexible and open you are, the better equipped you become to navigate the complexities of life and turn even the toughest situations into moments of progress. When navigating an ugly situation, it's crucial to maintain a clear sense of purpose and focus on long-term goals. Often, difficult circumstances come with distractions, emotional turbulence, external pressures, or the temptation to address only short-term concerns. While it's essential to manage immediate needs, losing sight of the bigger picture can lead to decisions that are reactive rather than strategic. Maintaining a long-term perspective ensures that your actions today align with your broader objectives and values, ultimately guiding you through the situation with a sense of clarity and direction. The first step in focusing on long-term goals during a crisis is to remind yourself of what truly matters. Ugly situations can cloud judgment, making it easy to get caught up in the urgency of the moment. However, taking a step back to reconnect with your overarching purpose allows you to view the current challenge as part of a larger journey. Ask yourself, what are my ultimate priorities? How does this situation fit into the bigger picture? These questions help frame the difficulty as a temporary obstacle rather than a defining moment. Maintaining focus on long-term goals also requires resisting the pull of immediate gratification. In challenging situations, the pressure to find quick fixes can be overwhelming. While short-term solutions might offer temporary relief, they can often come at the expense of your broader objectives. For example, in a business facing financial difficulties, cutting corners to save costs might solve the immediate problem but damage customer trust or product quality in the long run. It's important to evaluate every decision through the lens of sustainability and alignment with your long-term vision. Another critical aspect of maintaining a long-term perspective is adaptability. While your ultimate goals may remain constant, the path to achieving them often requires adjustments in response to changing circumstances. Ugly situations test your ability to stay committed to your purpose while being flexible in your approach. For instance, if a project encounters unexpected setbacks, focusing on the desired outcome rather than clinging to the original plan allows you to pivot and find new ways to achieve success. This balance between steadfastness and adaptability is key to navigating challenges effectively. Keeping long-term goals in mind also provides a sense of motivation and resilience. Ugly situations can feel draining, especially when progress is slow or setbacks are frequent. However, anchoring yourself to a larger purpose helps you stay motivated even when the immediate results aren't visible. This sense of purpose acts as a compass, guiding you through uncertainty and reminding you why your efforts matter. When the road gets tough, thinking about the bigger picture can provide the strength needed to persevere. To maintain focus on long-term goals, it's important to break them down into smaller, actionable steps. While the ultimate objective might feel distant or abstract during a challenging moment, identifying tangible milestones helps create a sense of progress. For example, if your long-term goal is to rebuild trust after a conflict, start with small actions like honest communication or consistent follow-through. These incremental achievements build momentum and keep you moving toward your larger purpose, even in the face of adversity. Communication also plays a vital role in staying aligned with long-term goals, particularly when working with a team. In an ugly situation, it's easy for team members to get lost in the details or focus on individual frustrations. As a leader or contributor, clearly articulating the shared vision and reminding everyone of the collective purpose ensures that efforts remain coordinated and productive. Consistent communication about long-term objectives fosters unity and keeps everyone focused on what truly matters. One of the most challenging aspects of maintaining a long-term perspective is managing uncertainty. Ugly situations often come with unknowns, making it difficult to predict outcomes or plan with precision. However, accepting this uncertainty as part of the process allows you to focus on what you can control: your values, decisions, and efforts. By prioritizing actions that align with your long-term goals, you reduce the impact of uncertainty and create a foundation for future success. It's also important to celebrate progress, even when it feels small compared to the bigger picture. Ugly situations often involve slow, incremental improvements, which can be discouraging if you're solely focused on the end goal. Recognizing and appreciating each step forward reinforces your commitment and provides a sense of accomplishment. These moments of acknowledgement serve as reminders that you are moving in the right direction, even if the journey is challenging. Focusing on long-term goals involves cultivating patience. Ugly situations rarely resolve overnight, and the process of overcoming them can be lengthy and complex. Patience allows you to navigate the highs and lows without losing sight of your purpose. It also fosters a sense of perspective, reminding you that setbacks are temporary and that progress, no matter how small, contributes to the bigger picture. Patience, combined with persistence, ensures that you stay the course even when the path is difficult. Maintaining a focus on long-term goals during an ugly situation requires clarity, discipline, and resilience. By anchoring yourself to your broader purpose, resisting the temptation of short-term fixes, and breaking down goals into actionable steps, you create a roadmap that guides you through the immediate challenge while staying aligned with your ultimate objectives. This perspective not only helps you navigate adversity with purpose, but also ensures that your decisions today lay the foundation for future success. Whether the situation is personal, professional, or relational, keeping the bigger picture in mind transforms challenges into stepping stones toward meaningful growth and achievement. In life, ugly situations are inevitable, but how we respond to them defines our growth, resilience, and success. These challenges, though uncomfortable and unpredictable, hold within them the seeds of transformation. By breaking the problem into manageable parts, maintaining a balance between emotion and logic, and extracting valuable lessons, we can navigate even the most daunting circumstances with purpose and clarity. Flexibility and innovation allow us to adapt and explore new pathways, while a steadfast focus on long-term goals ensures we remain anchored to what truly matters. Adversity is not an end, it is a beginning. It pushes us to dig deeper, think smarter, and emerge stronger. Each ugly situation is an opportunity to refine our approach, strengthen our character, and expand our capacity to handle the complexities of life. The path may be difficult, but every step forward, no matter how small, is a testament to our ability to persevere. With the right mindset, even the toughest situations can be transformed into moments of progress and growth. Ultimately, ugly situations don't just test us, they shape us into better versions of ourselves.